Hey guys, it is Peter again, and I'm very excited, and I'm back from BlueAlpha. Very excited to actually show you the Meta MCP that is officially live now for BlueAlpha, and obviously, like we have done it for also TikTok, Google, and LinkedIn. We have built a set of different skills that are also available within our plugin, which is also on GitHub, which you can download and can just use for free. But I created some example reports from some of the skills that you are probably already familiar with, or that we're just going to go through now in terms of like how you can actually use Claude Code to manage your Facebook ads or like your Meta ads end to end and drive more performance for your business. Ultimately, what is BlueAlpha? We are the capital allocation engine for growth leaders who actually want to own every marketing dollar, right? And unlike other patchworks of tools or agencies that leave you rather like project managing your own credibility, we actually turn you into the portfolio manager of your budget, running every dollar on proof instead of defending it on guesses. And out of this, we have a larger system of offering causal measurement, like for example, MMMs, incrementality testing, as like the root, then tying all of this together with creative fatigue, competitive insights, automated reporting across all of your data streams, and as well as having, for example, the execution layer with MCPs of, for example, pushing automatic budget changes or creating entire campaigns from scratch for like Google, Meta, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And everything tool that we have is also like MCP native. And what I'm going to show you right now is where this is like the free to use version that we have, where you can actually just do mostly read functions. So no write functions from like Claude into like your Meta accounts, but actually like read functions. And we've built this whole set of new skills around it that can actually help you manage your entire account. So looking at this, and this is actually like real data, but we obviously altered everything. But I just wanted to show you like a real example and run you through some of the skills that you can actually run. We have over 12, but we're actually not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of the first like 3 to 4. So we have the skill which is called Meta Full Monty, which is the complete account workup. And this basically means we run all of the skills that we have in our plugin compiled in one report looking at the last 30 days. So if you can look at this here, last 30 days, roughly $1 million in spend. We're talking about a streaming subscription company here, and you drove around like 21 or 22,000 subscriptions with a blended CPA of like 44, with a quite high frequency around like 5, which is, I think we're going to go into this a bit deeper because this is quite a high frequency, and we're probably going to get some insights on like which campaigns actually to cut. If you look at the run sequence, it runs the CAPI Signal Health, then the Performance Digest, then the Auto Optimize skill, then Advantage Plus Audit, Creative Fatigue, Placement Performance, Audience Intelligence, Geo Expansion, Creative Rehash, and then Incrementality, like potential options which you can also test. So this is like the full Monty one. Skill end to end. It starts to give you the top 5 actions, for example, ranked by impact. Like, for example, we should trim this particular campaign as we believe there's like 145,000 stuck. And we should rather move this from like the Western European countries into, for example, Latin America and Turkey as the engines there, and the CPA is like significantly cheaper. Then there's also like what I mentioned with the frequency. We should rotate and refresh some of the campaigns as refresh the 51 campaigns above 3.0 frequency, which is roughly around 350K before adding any additional budget. That makes sense. Shift placement spend of Facebook Reels to Instagram Stories, okay, and then clean up campaigns down there, okay, fix awareness, that makes also sense, great. So Meta CAPI, verdict, signals, trustworthy surface, safe to act on efficiency reads, okay, the pixel and CAPI are firing, this is great. No D or like no single deduplication. Now it runs the Meta Optimize account, Meta Optimize audit, where we actually look at, okay, again, all of the spend, a bunch of different campaigns out of like a lot of total campaigns, right? and gives us a risk-tiered action plan of where we should actually pause. Also has a meta performance digest, right? So understanding what is actually driving what. We're seeing a relatively low ROAS, but this could also be just because the platforms are completely underreporting and people are just not finding their ways to actually subscribers, and hence that's why you would need, for example, an MMM that can help you then actually understand, are the conversions that actually Meta are reporting truly trustworthy? And usually what we see is that obviously Meta starts to over-report, but we also have cases actually where it's the complete opposite, where Meta is actually not capturing the conversions, but with the power of the MMM, we were actually able to attribute a way larger impact to Meta that then built the confidence to actually scale, because it was not a product that was, for example, oh, I want to buy a new pair of shoes. I see Meta ad, I click on it and I purchase. It was a longer, more complex journey that actually then led to conversion. And without an MMM, you wouldn't be able to actually capture this. Another skill is also looking at the Advantage Plus audit, right? Looking into the specific campaign for Advantage Plus. We run creative fatigue, right, as well, which looks at the ad level and looks at frequency, sum stops, and like CTRs. Here, for example, of the last 14 days, if you want to look at different metrics, you can always say that. Runs also Meta creative refresh skill that looks at all of your historic creatives. We have also audience intelligence of understanding which segments are actually like driving the best CPA. Interestingly, here skewed towards a more younger male and female audience, which is interesting that the 18 to 24 is actually quite expensive, but then 25 to 44 seems to be the sweet spot, with actually the older generation with 65 plus for male and female actually having the worst CPA, but also given the least spend. So if we look at spend allocation, it is actually allocated correctly, or like directionally correctly. Looking at placement performance as well across Instagram and Facebook. Seeing here that Reels and Instagram videos are actually performing the worst, so probably should turn us on. And then looking, for example, into the Geo Expansion of, we have a global example here of where should we actually, in which market should we actually like drive, for example, or scale, which one versus which should we like trim. And then it also gives you, for example, testing example for an incrementality test of, for example, saying, okay, we should maybe test Meta. This is also another offering that we have at BlueAlpha, where we actually offer incrementality testing as a service, which ties into the entire capital allocation engine that is actually embedded into your system, right? Because how we work is, it's not just the software that you build. We actually come to you, sit together with your team, and then implement all of the tools from measurement to execution to creative fatigue insights into the stack that you already work with, to actually give your team the ability to be the portfolio manager to actually drive the most efficient capital allocation. And that ranges from performance marketing to brand to organic social media as well, because we can, for example, infuse those insights also into the MMM. All right. There's also a skill, one of my favorites, which is content to campaign. So if you have, for example, a very good piece of content that you actually published and has a great resonance, for example, for AO, you can actually run the skill, turns it into a campaign as well. So that's why, and I think with this, it actually concludes all of the different skills. That was a pretty quick rundown, but I hope you get the gist, and I'll see you soon when we start releasing X, Snapchat, Reddit, and Amazon. Bye-bye.